Hello, my mysterious crewmates, it's Captain Mystery here, and today we're doing another rant video and we're doing it on the couch as is routine. I swear to you, I'm planning more. I want to do more well thought out videos, but I got one more rant in me. Before I'm gonna try to do more planned videos instead of ones that I just sit down and ad-lib. Today, we're doing something else. Today I'm not going to be ranting about the confusion of Homestuck again.
His subordinate agents include the draconian dignitary, the hegemonic brute and the courtyard troll. They continue to serve him. He oversees various...
Today we're gonna be doing something else. So recently, and I'm a tad ignoring my Discord notification. I'm actually going to mute that. Today we're going to do something, I felt I wanted to put my 2 cents, my opinion in, and, truth be told, I should probably not make the mistake I made last time where I just sort of ad-lib it, but I'm going to ad-lib it again. So what's the video on? So today, we're going to be talking about something on YouTube that you would have no doubt come across. We're going to talk about YouTube advertisers, and advertising in general on the platform. Today advertisers on YouTube, right? So let's talk about them, shall we? You would have seen it, so when you go on YouTube, YouTube obviously needs to make money, and the way they do that is via advertisers. They sell ad space in different designated locations on their website. The homepage is their... you might have even seen an ad play before this video you're watching. So let me tell you a story. So I have been watching YouTube videos for a while. I've been watching YouTube videos roughly since 2011, which was 10 years ago. My God, is this what being old feels like? Before, I guess you could call them the dark times, YouTube had ads, but seldom did you ever see ads in the video, and that's what we're going to be talking about. We're talking about YouTube ads by the creators themselves. In other words, sponsorships, when a company sponsors a video. And the reason why I'm making this video is because it has recently been exposed that the company, I don't want to be sued, but I'm so small I doubt they'll ever see this video. Established Titles has been exposed for not running like a scam operation, but it being very, very close to it. You have definitely seen the ads. It's where, as a joke, you could become a Scottish lord or lady because you own 1 square foot of Scottish land. And to cut to the chase, that's not how that works. In order to be officially recognized by, like, this, I can't remember what it was called, but it's like, whatever the Scottish Bureau of Land is, you need to have, I can't remember what it takes, but I know it can't be a souvenir plot. You need to have, like, more. I think I'll need to I'll need to Google this. I had this all in my head, but it's been a while since I looked at it. I think the issue is that you need to have both more, and it can't, I think that's the main issue. I'll probably put in like a little like asterisk here, what else, but one of the main things is I think you need to have more than just 1 square foot. Now remember, another thing is that it needs to be registered under like the Scottish, I'm just calling it the Scottish Bureau of Land, and it probably has a different name, but I'm just calling it the Scottish Bureau of Land, and you can't register just 1 square foot. You need to register more. It needs to be registered under their on their registry, and it was always presented as like a joke. Like no one's obviously gonna try to make claims to royalty based on that. It's obvious. It's not. Obvious probably isn't the best word, but it's meant to be a joke. It's not meant to be taken seriously. The problem is that the YouTubers that were sponsored very often said, like, officially, and that implies that this would be registered with the Scottish Bureau of Land and that you would officially be a Scottish lord or lady. But you won't. You wouldn't be. You wouldn't be. The other thing that this company, the other thing that this company did was that the money that they got, portions of it would go to replanting Scottish wildlands and like wilderness, like they plant trees. But like I can't remember like what was the thing with that. That did happen, but it was like I think that would happen, but that was like it. The argument I saw against it is like, why not just go directly to the tree planters? Why not just that $50 like souvenir plot you'd get? Why not just give that $50 to the people planting the trees? Why not just cut out the middleman and just go directly to the tree planters? And that was the argument I saw with them. And I wanted to make this video on the larger subject of sponsorships in YouTube. I do not get paid for making my videos. My videos are made entirely because I like making videos and entirely out of a hobby. I have never made a single penny from any of my, I don't know how many videos I have on my channel. I think it's probably like just over 100. I have never made a single dollar off of any of my 100 videos. Not a single dollar. And so I don't get sponsorship emails. I've never gotten a single sponsorship in the entire like 7 years I've been running my channel. I've never gotten a single sponsorship email, and that's expected. It's completely expected for someone so small as me to never get one. But I say this primarily because I lack experience in this area, obviously. I don't know what the contracts get signed behind the doors of the various various bigger YouTube channels. But I wanted to give my opinion on these. So there was this has happened before. There was a company called, I didn't realize, I was sort of outside the controversy of this company, but there's another company called BetterHelp, and the shtick behind that company is that it was pretty much like therapy, but done online. And I really like that idea. I really, like, so many people need therapy. I go to therapy. I used their youth service, teen counseling, for a good, like, 6 months. And I didn't have a single bad experience with it. I really liked the person they gave me. I really liked. I had to get a new therapist, but I liked that one. The only reason I didn't continue using it was because it got really expensive. Like it was like even with financial aid, it was super expensive. I mean, I qualified for, well, I wasn't paying for it, but the person paying for it qualified for financial aid, for their financial aid, like, assistance, and it was still really expensive. It was, I think, like $130 a month. That's really expensive. And I liked their service. I found out that it was probably less than reputable. Like, some of their therapists weren't actually, like registered, not registered, like, qualified, and, like, they didn't have, like, licenses made. That didn't happen with me, but it's completely possible that it did happen. It just never happened with me. The other company that had a little bit of issues thrown their way was Raycon. The Raycon earbuds that you couldn't, that were also, like, really, like, heavily advertising. I remember I'd get Raycon ads. I can't remember what videos I watched, but I remember I watched, like, a series of suggested videos all after another, and each one had a Raycon ad. And I got so sick and tired of seeing this ad. I remember I stumbled across a video from a person named Dank. Well, okay, Dank Pods came later, but you probably know that name because his most famous video is his review of it, is his infamous/famous review of the Raycon.
Let's see the Raycons. True wireless, premium. It's compact. The battery and charger. Call your nan. Like, no, really, call your nan. No, really. Out of all of these, the Raycons are the cheapest and nastiest. This is just like this weird, slippery plastic. Here it go. Raycon. I mean, imagine if everything did that. iPad.
Where this guy's like a drummer and he's an audiophile, so he knows headphones. And he tried them and he's just like, these are like mediocre at best. They're bassy as heck and I do not like them. And I saw someone make the accusation that Raycon wasn't actually selling their own branded headphones. They were just rebranding like a Chinese brand and then doubling the price.
Now this all sounded a little fishy to me, considering I've tested literally hundreds of earbuds and I've never heard of Raycon earbuds except in these ads. And so the first thing I did was go to Raycon's website, and I saw that they were endorsed by celebrities like Cardi B, Drake, Deshaun Jackson, just to name a few. And somehow I've never seen these on a list of best true wireless earbuds. This certainly warranted further investigation, and I started to wonder who Raycon really was.
Here's what I want to do. I want to ask the question, how much should we as watchers hold creators' feet to the fire when they I don't like using this term, but when they shill something, how much should we hold creators responsible? And the answer to that question for me is it's on a case-by-case basis, but it should always be at least a little bit. At least a little bit. Now, I saw a video today where the person made the argument that you shouldn't overly crucify these creators, because he made the argument that he was sure that the company always looked legitimate. He was sure that when these creators get an email, they always look legitimate. They don't look like scam businesses. And Oh crap, I just realized I've completely diverted from my subject. So I'm gonna back up a little bit on scamming. So I've been on YouTube for a while, and I remember way back when YouTube ads were always very sketchy. So my philosophy for ads on YouTube is it is either a scam or malware. And because of that, I have a very critical eye when it comes to this stuff. And I can't remember when I started seeing sponsored videos more often, but I think it was probably in 2014 or maybe 2015 was when I started seeing them more. And I mean, yeah, YouTubers can make a lot of money from their videos, but very often they make like probably slightly above like what you'd get if you worked like a full-time job for like 15 an hour, or 15, or like, yeah, let's say 50. They make like barely above like 15 an hour if they like worked your standard full-time job. And so, and these people obviously need to eat and drink and live, obviously, and they need to pay for their editing softwares, and some of them have editors that they need to pay as well, and you know, obviously. And sponsorships, I imagine, where it's like, if you shout us out, we'll pay you, I don't know, $10,000, and at each video you do shout us out, we'll give you another 10,000 or another 5,000 or something. There are stories of YouTubers getting paid like six-figure payouts, and it's crazy that some of these companies are willing to pay like the equivalence of a house in some cases to these YouTubers. And on sponsorships in general, I've always thought they were annoying. I as a more of a watcher of YouTube than a creator can speak on that behalf, where it's just like, I always see them as like kind of annoying. And I always have my finger on the left arrow button or on my phone ready to double tap anytime I hear. But before we continue, this video is sponsored by click, 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 click. Anyway, back to the video. And I have YouTube Premium, so I don't need to worry about YouTube's embedded ads. Because I don't see them. That's why that's why it's so hard for me to remember like where YouTube places them, because I haven't seen them in a while. When I moved, I had to cancel my YouTube Premium for a couple months, and I got the ads back, and I hated it. But anyway, enough screaming about how I can pay for YouTube Premium. So creators taking sponsorships. Let's continue this. I remember seeing a video from Scott the Waz, and it was his April Fool's video about Raid Shadow Legends, another YouTube advertiser that I kind of just want to choke the owner of for just buying so much. The thing that speared me to make this video is because I realized I have been seeing Raid Shadow Legends ads for 3 years. 3 years. They have been actively promoting on YouTube. I watched an old JonTron video from like 3 years ago, and it was sponsored by Raid. And then I watched one of his more recent videos, and it was sponsored by Raid. And I remember Purple Cliff, it's a streamer I really like watching, and his uploaded videos I see sponsored by Raid. And I'm just like, stop it! I don't care about you! I do not care about you. You are so close to being considered a gacha freemium game, closer to a casino, because it works on the same neuroscience, where it's just like the same, what's that box called? What's a Skinner box. A Skinner box, that's what it's called. A Skinner box, and it wasn't a monkey, it was like birds. I think it was called a Skinner box. My point is that mobile ads can hook you and be just as addictive as like alcohol or hard drugs. Oh god, I've been recording for 24 minutes. And that's not good. Like, I see that as like not good, because like the moment they have you like hooked, they'll drain your bank account, and that's why I don't have like any games that are paid on my phone. I have Apple Arcade, and I only get games from Apple Arcade unless I have paid for them and I know they don't have microtransactions. And I remember, what else do I see? Something I want to say is that this isn't to say that if a YouTuber is sponsored by a product, you shouldn't buy it. That's not what I'm saying. In fact, not a lot, but some stuff, some like software I use, I heard from YouTubers first. Like LastPass, I'm not sponsored by LastPass, but let me tell you, LastPass is the greatest password vault I have ever, I use. I love it so much. I remember when I first heard about it, I'm in IT, so I have a lot of accounts, and I remember when I heard about it, because I kept, another service I used was Skillshare. Skillshare is a little overrated, and I didn't use it for that long, but I liked it. I really liked what they were doing. It wasn't for me, but when I did use it, I liked it. But it wasn't really for me. The other thing I heard about, Audible. Audible I hear about a lot. I used it briefly. I liked it, but it was in a similar situation with Skillshare where it wasn't really for me. I thought it was going to be like Netflix for audiobooks, because I listen to a lot of audiobooks. But it isn't. It's, you get a 1 month like credit when you get Audible, and you can use that credit anywhere on any like audiobook that Amazon has, which is a lot of them. And when you use that credit, you have it. You have that audiobook. I don't know if it's forever. I know for the first credit you have it forever. But I liked it, but I prefer to just have I just prefer to just go cut out the middleman and just get the audiobook myself. Like, I have a bunch of like audio CDs. You can kind of see them over there. But I have a few I have 2 music CDs and like an audiobook, and I have more of them in my room. But I prefer to just cut out the middleman and just get my audiobook for me. But that's a me thing, and I could totally see it being used. And I say all this, again, to emphasize that, oh, my camera's about to hit a 30-minute limit. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut. See you in a second. Okay, I'm back. So, I say this to emphasize again that if you see a YouTuber taking a sponsorship, that isn't a sign that you shouldn't give the product a chance. But obviously, with all products, you should take a certain degree of skepticism. I'm in IT, and I'm currently majoring in applied computing. But I have a degree in computer information systems, graduated, I wanted to talk about VPNs for a second. You don't need one. You just flat out don't need one. And as time goes on, the reasons that VPN companies give you for getting one are becoming less and less viable. VPNs, virtual private networks, are private access points to the internet. Companies actually do have reasons to use them because if an employee at a company needs to get access to like a database or just in any form of internal company resource that's held digitally, so most company resources, they'll tunnel in through a VPN. And the great thing about a VPN is that you don't need a lot of technical knowledge to actually use it. You just turn it on, and you'll get access to the resources in that company's network without having to open up an SSH tunnel, which, while that's not hard, it's not easy for everyone to figure out how to use. Remember, I am an applied computing major and I graduated with my CIS degree, so this is stuff I already know how to use and how it works, but that's beside the point. Not everyone wants to go through that whole degree, and that's fine. I just really like computers. I come back to this to say that, unless you are on a lot of, legacy websites, or websites without an encryption, without SSH, without AES encryption, so that little HTTPS and the padlock in the browser, when HTTPS became secure, the security standard, and the padlock in the browser, unless you're browsing a lot of legacy websites or websites without that, first of all, why are you browsing websites without a padlock browser? Because that's really bad. But unless you do that a lot, you're fine. You're actually fine. You don't need one. Because if you have a padlock in the browser, it's already encrypted. Your ISP can only see the website you're on, not the exact pages you're viewing. So if you're on chase.com, they can't see your bank account information, only that you are on chase.com. And they need to see that information because they need to know where to send it. They need to see that the packet you're sending out says, very basically, says chase.com, and then your ISP says, okay, this person is being sent to chase.com. Let's send it to the chase.com server. They send it over, but they can only see that you're going to chase.com, not the content of those not the content of Chase. So you can only see Chase, that he is on chase.com, not the content he's seeing. And something I realized is that, Linus Sebastian, right? The actual, founder of Linus Tech Tips and LTT and Linus Media Group, right? I think he has only taken a VPN sponsorship once. And it was for like an obscure VPN that I've only seen him. I think it was for Tunnel Bear, and it was for a VPN that I've only seen him do. I don't think I've ever seen someone do a Tunnel Bear sponsorship. I've seen NordVPN and ExpressVPN, and I think one other, private internet access. I've seen those three, but I've never seen both Linus take a sponsorship from either of those three companies, or Tunnel Bear be sponsored anywhere but Linus Tech Tips. What else? Scott the Waz, I brought him up a little bit. Scott the Waz did a video on Raid Shadow Legends, and he talked about how, he briefly mentioned how he, like, reviews video games for a living. So if Raid Shadow Legends could just pay him like $5,000 and he'd get to say, oh, this is the greatest game I've ever played, then what does that say about his opinions on all other games? Because if it's that easy to just buy his opinion, then what value is it? There's no value to his opinion, because he's not going to think about it objectively. He's only going to think about how much this company will pay me. And he's not going to think about it, like I said, objectively. So he compromises his trust with the audience. And when that trust is compromised, it's really hard to get it back. What else? I'm trying to think of times I've seen experts advertise things. Back to Linus Tech Tips. They take a lot of sponsorships, and they take a lot of sponsorships from iFixit. And iFixit is hopefully they don't get exposed for, like, being some sort of pyramid scheme, scam operation. But I really like, I'm not being paid to say this. iFixit IT tools are, like, industry standard. They are good. They are really good. They are... You can, like, hook me up to a lie detector and I'll swear on a stack of Bibles. They are good. I built my computer. I used iFixit tools to build it. And I'm trying to think of another time I've seen an expert do an ad read for a company. I saw Michael Reeves do a ad read for a VPN once, which I thought was a little weird. I thought it was a little weird because he's super into tech, and I kind of expected him to know this already. And he did, like, a demonstration with it. I think... that ad read felt weird to me. It felt really weird. And I'm almost out of recording space on this video, so I'm gonna actually need to close it off a little early. But the reason I'm making this video is because I'm starting to think that as the YouTube audience becomes more critical of, like, sponsorships, sponsors are becoming a little bit more wild. So I started seeing ads for, and this is where I'm going to label this mature only. I started seeing ads for alcohol, like Blue Chew, which is like Viagra, and Adam and Eve. I try to keep this family friendly, but Adam and Eve is a shop that children very much shouldn't go into, because it sells things that are not safe for work. And I consider myself a family-friendly YouTuber, so I'll just leave the implications behind that to leave in the air and let you guys figure it out. And when I started seeing that, I was just like, are there not rules on this? Because this feels like crossing a line. This feels very much like you're crossing a line or getting very close to crossing a line. And us as watchers on YouTube will need to figure out where a line should be drawn. Should we be okay with creators selling alcohol on their platforms, or should we draw a line and say no, don't sell addictive substances to potential minors? Don't sell like things to Adam and Eve. Don't sell Viagra, sort of Viagra on your platform. Should we draw that line? I say it should be analyzed contextually, but I also said that the answer should never be no. We should always have a little bit of criticism for any ad. But that's about all I have. If you like this video kind of, sort of, maybe a little, hit that like button, and why not subscribe to join the mystery crew for more videos like this. I swear there will be more edited. But I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.